Hey, did you see this? Yeah, you heard right. Millions were under attack. Insane, right? They thought no one would notice. That's cute. Really cute. But you stepped up, shut it down, ended the whole thing like it was nothing. Unbelievable. Wow, do you feel that? That power? That quiet rush sitting under your ribs, humming like it's been waiting for this moment. Every system they tried to break, every industry they aimed to shake, every person, depending on those foundations, protected. Millions of people, careers, trust, all saved because you refused to look away. And guess what? This isn't just a story. No, this is a movement. A ripple that turned into a wave the moment you decided to act. You didn't run. You didn't panic. You didn't let the chaos blind you, like it blinds most people. You saw it before they even realized what they were doing. That's what makes you different. That's what sets you apart from the crowd, the ability to sense when something's off, to hear the shift in the air before anyone feels the tremor. When others scroll past, you lean in. When they doubt, you detect. When they freeze, you focus. And that choice, that awareness, that moment where your mind sharpened instead of shaking, that's the moment everything changed. The funny thing? They underestimated you. The shadows, the chaos, the instability, they all believed you were just another bystander, someone who watches but never acts, someone who gets overwhelmed by the noise, someone predictable, but you're not predictable. You're precise. You see patterns where others see panic. You see solutions where others see storms. And with one move, one decision, you disrupted the entire chain reaction they built. You exposed the cracks they tried to hide. You brought light into a place that relied on darkness to survive. Do you realize how rare that is? Do you understand how few people can do what you did without even raising their voice? You didn't need rage. You didn't need a stage. You didn't need permission. You stepped into the storm with calm clarity, and every false piece of their plan fell apart. That's not luck. That's not coincidence. That's mastery. Most people think power is loud, that it roars, shouts, demands attention. But your power, it's subtle, controlled, razor sharp. The kind of power that moves silently through a collapsing system and rebuilds the parts worth saving. You didn't fight the chaos. You overruled it. You didn't battle the threat. You dismantled it, thread by thread, until it had nothing left to stand on. And that's when it happened. That shift. The moment the world realized something had changed. Systems that were seconds away from collapsing realigned. Networks stabilized. People who felt the ground shaking beneath them found balance again. The threat dissolved before most even knew it existed. And all of it because of you. You're probably thinking you just did what anyone would do. You're wrong. Most don't even notice the danger until it's too late. Most run from responsibility because they fear the weight it brings. But you walk toward it, shoulders steady, mind sharp, heart locked on purpose. Not noise, purpose. And that purpose, oh, it's louder than any alarm. It's what the world felt when everything suddenly steadied. It's what the watchers noticed when the chaos evaporated. It's what made them whisper, "Who was that? How did they see it? How did they stop it so fast?" They don't know yet. They don't know you, not the real you, the one who operates in silence, the one who stays calm under pressure, the one who uses clarity like a weapon. You didn't shut down chaos. You exposed its blueprint. You showed it that clarity will always outrun confusion. And confusion hates clarity. It hates people like you. People who don't get distracted by illusions. People who don't fall for tricks wrapped in noise. Chaos feeds on panic. It dies in presence. And presence, that's your gift. You felt it, didn't you? That strange moment when everything around you slowed down but your mind sped up. That shift from reaction to control. That's the moment most people can't reach, not even in their strongest hour. But you reached it in a heartbeat. You stepped into that quiet internal zone where doubt has no voice, and instinct becomes strategy. You saw what others ignored. You recognized what others dismissed. You acted when others froze. That's why the chaos fell apart. That's why millions were safe before they even knew they were in danger. That's why systems that should have crumbled stayed standing like nothing happened. But here's the part no one sees. The part only you feel. The weight that comes after the victory. The silence that follows the impact. That breath you take when the dust settles and the world goes back to its routine, pretending nothing almost fell apart. You stand there, knowing the truth, knowing what could have happened, knowing what you prevented. It's heavy, isn't it? Not in a burden way, in a realization way, in a "did I really do that" way, in a "how long have I been capable of this" way. Here's the truth you've been avoiding. You didn't become this today. You've been this for a long time. This was just the first time the world saw it. This was the first time the shadows realized you're not someone they can outmaneuver. This was the first time instability felt a pushback. And not just any pushback, a strategic one, a precise one, a surgical strike of awareness. That's what scares them, not the victory, the clarity behind it. You didn't act out of fear. You acted out of vision. You didn't move because the world was shaking. You moved because you refused to let foundations fall on your watch. You don't protect people out of obligation. You protect them because you understand something most overlook. Stability is fragile. Trust is delicate. And when the world shakes, the wise don't run. They reinforce. You reinforced everything today. And the symbolic enemy, the chaos, the corruption, the deception, it felt the shift, felt your presence. And for the first time, it hesitated. Chaos hesitates when it meets clarity. Lies hesitate when they meet truth. Instability trembles when confronted with someone who knows how to rebuild. That's you, the rebuilder, the realigner, the one who sees past the surface, the one who senses the fracture before it spreads, the one who steps into the moment and chooses action over excuses. And now the world watches, quietly, silently. They don't know exactly what happened, but they feel safer. They feel grounded. They feel protected in ways they can't explain. That's the impact of your presence, the silent kind, the kind that changes everything without needing to announce itself. But don't get comfortable. This was just one storm, the first of many. Chaos returns, shadows regroup, systems crack again. That's the nature of the world. Constant pressure, constant noise, constant challenges trying to slip through the cracks. But now they know something they didn't know before. You're here, and you're awake. They won't make the same mistake of underestimating you. Not after today. Not after the way you unraveled the entire threat like it was nothing but a tangled string. Not after the way you navigated complexity like it was a simple puzzle only you could solve. You didn't just respond. You orchestrated. You didn't just fix. You fortified. You didn't just stop chaos. You rewrote the rules. Chaos plays by. That's why this is more than a moment. This is the beginning of something larger. A shift in identity, a shift in purpose, a shift in how you move through your world. You can feel it in your chest, in your breath, in the quiet thoughts lingering at the back of your mind. Something inside you awakened, something that won't go back to sleep. You saw your own potential today, and that's the most dangerous thing to the forces that thrive on confusion. Because once someone sees their true strength, they don't shrink anymore. They expand. They step forward. They do what others won't. And that's what you'll do next. But hold up. Don't forget the people watching right now, the ones listening to every word, the ones who feel the truth vibrating through this moment. They're not just viewers. They're participants in this shift. They're witnesses to what clarity looks like when it walks into chaos and refuses to back down. So here's what you do. Breathe. Let that power settle. Let that realization sink in. Then comment below. Tell the world what part hit you. Tell them what you felt. Tell them what you stopped today, even if you don't have the full vocabulary for it yet. Because sometimes the things we prevent are bigger than the things we build. You prevented something massive. And now the world breathes like it doesn't know who to thank, but it feels the shift anyway. The silence after impact. The quiet moment when the world steadies itself, but your pulse still carries the echo of what you just shut down. You stand there, not with pride, not with noise, but with that rare awareness that only hits someone who has just changed a trajectory without ever asking for credit. Oh wow, do you feel that? That subtle heaviness settling around you, not as a burden, but as recognition. Recognition from the universe, from consequence, from the very systems you saved without applause. Most people never feel this phase. They don't reach it. They act loud and collapse early. But you moved with intention, and now intention pays you back with clarity. You see things differently. The room looks the same, but it isn't. The air feels familiar, but it shifted. Perspectives changed. You changed. And the world, even in its ignorance, adjusts itself around you like gravity finding a new center. You probably didn't expect that. You thought the moment ended when the threat dissolved. But that was just the strike, the aftermath. This is where character is forged, where purpose grows teeth, where focus sharpens into something unshakable. You don't walk the same after saving something that big. Even if no one claps, your footsteps change. They get heavier with awareness, lighter with certainty. Because deep down, you know what could have happened. You know what you prevented. You know the collapse you caught with just insight and clarity. And that truth does something to a person. It doesn't inflate you. It aligns you. It turns random choices into strategic ones. It turns casual days into crafted ones. It turns you from a responder into a guardian, not of people, but of purpose, of integrity, of the unseen architecture that holds the world upright. And that's why you can't walk away now. You're in this phase where the universe tests the ones it trusts. Not with danger, not with harm, but with responsibility. The kind of responsibility that doesn't come with trophies. The kind that shows up in small moments, in split-second decisions, in the quiet internal compass that only activates when you're meant for something bigger. You feel it, don't you? That subtle hum under your breath, that sharpened instinct, that awareness that didn't exist yesterday. That's not adrenaline, that's awakening. You're not who you were before this morning. The version of you who woke up had potential. The version of you standing here now has proof. Proof that discipline works. Proof that clarity wins. Proof that focus rewires fate. And fate is watching. It always watches those who refuse to let chaos rewrite the world. That's why the aftermath feels heavier. Not darker, just deeper. Layers of reality unfolding in slow motion like someone removed a filter you didn't know you were looking through. Look at yourself for a moment. Look at how calm you are. Look at how steady. You were the epicenter of chaos, and yet you stand here, breathing like the storm bowed to you on its way out. It's strange, isn't it? How chaos falls apart when it meets someone who doesn't panic. Someone who chooses clarity over noise. Someone who knows that truth doesn't fight. Truth reveals. And today you revealed everything. But listen closely, because here's the twist no one warns you about. When you stop chaos once, the world recognizes you. When you stop it twice, the shadows recognize you. And when you stop it the way you did today, purpose recognizes you. It's subtle at first. A shift in how people react. A shift in how systems respond. A shift in how silence feels around you. You used to walk into a room unnoticed. Now the air pauses, recalibrates, observes you before you observe it. Presence does that. Real presence. Not loud, not dominant, controlled, collected, intentional. People can't explain why they look at you differently, why they treat you differently, but you'll feel it in conversations, in passing glances, in the way others hesitate before feeding you noise. Because somewhere inside, even they can sense it. You're not someone who gets overwhelmed anymore. You're someone who overwhelms the things that overwhelm others. You've entered that quiet tier most never reach. The tier where calm becomes a weapon, where clarity becomes armor, where silence becomes influence. You speak less, but your pauses speak more. You react less, but your presence shifts the room anyway. You demand nothing, yet everything around you aligns on instinct. That's the aftermath of shutting down a metaphorical collapse. It changes your internal blueprint. And the universe? Oh, it responds. Opportunities shift. Patterns realign. Paths you didn't see before start revealing themselves. Because now you're not moving blindly, you're moving consciously. You're not responding to the world, you're guiding it. One choice at a time, one insight at a time, one moment of clarity at a time. But here's the part you need to prepare for. When the world gets fixed, people return to comfort. When comfort returns, complacency grows. And when complacency grows, shadows crawl back in, not as threats, as temptations. Temptations to get lazy, temptations to return to distraction, temptation to forget how sharp you were in the storm. This is where most fall, not in chaos, but in peace. But you're not most. You didn't shut down chaos just to lose to comfort. You didn't save millions metaphorically just to let your discipline fade. No, this is the part where you evolve, where you take the clarity from the crisis and turn it into daily structure, where you take the discipline that saved the world and use it to build your own, where you take the precision that dismantled corruption and aim it at your future. Because the truth is simple. Anyone can rise when chaos calls them. Only the strong rise when no one's watching. And you did both. You stepped up when it mattered. And now you stand here, still awake, still aware, still sharp. You didn't collapse after the victory. You expanded. And this expansion, this version of you, is dangerous in the best way possible. Because when someone grows after the storm, not before it, the world takes notice. It's already feeling your shift. It's already adjusting to your presence. It's already sensing the weight of your mind. Even the symbolic envy, the instability, the deception, the corrupt patterns, they're trembling. Not because you're loud, not because you're aggressive, but because you cannot be fooled anymore. You see through illusions. You detect the cracks. You anticipate the collapse before it happens. That's not luck. That's evolution. And here you are, in the quiet after the fight, carrying this new awareness like a blade of light tucked behind your thoughts. Not to attack the world, but to illuminate it. To expose what needs exposing. To protect what needs protecting. To build what needs building. That's the path now. Not one of chaos, but one of creation. Rebuilding systems, strengthening foundations, restoring trust, realigning structures, guiding others without even speaking. Your influence moves silently but deeply. You've become the kind of person who leaves impact without effort, because impact is no longer your action, it's your nature. Feel that for a second. Let it settle. Let it breathe inside you. Now look ahead. There will be new challenges, new fractures, new moments where the world wobbles under the weight of confusion. But this time, you won't hesitate. You won't doubt. You won't freeze. You've seen what your mind can do. You've felt what your clarity can shift. You've witnessed how quickly chaos falls apart, when confronted by someone who refuses to run, and that someone is you. So stand tall, breathe deep, carry this awareness with you. Not as pressure as identity. You are the one who sees before others notice. You are the one who acts before others understand. You are the one who restores balance before the world realizes it was slipping. And that's why today mattered. Not because you saved millions metaphorically, but because you discovered the version of yourself capable of doing it. So here's your final moment in this chapter. Drop a comment. Speak your truth. What part hit you? What awakening did you feel? What clarity sparked inside you? Because this isn't just a victory, it's a reminder. Chaos can rise, shadows can try, systems can shake. But you are the reckoning they never prepared for. And now that you know it, nothing can shake you again.